Well, there's nothing like a little technical difficulties to get the heart pumping. Um, Anyways, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome my YouTube family, my Instagram family. Check in to see how everyone is doing. I want to welcome you to the Healing Place Energy School live chat. How are you doing tonight? Please give me a wave. Say hello. Hi, Larry. Give me a wave just to see how you're doing. And let me know where you're from. And where you're from, one of the things that I'm really curious about, are you a healer? Or perhaps you're somebody who's really interested in becoming a healer and you want to ask questions about how to get going. Well, you know what? Let me give you a quick history of those people who don't me. I hope I am not repeating myself because I got a little flustered. For those people who are new to me, I am a certified reflexologist with more than 800 specialized hours in reflexology, hand, feet, ears, a whole bunch of other things. And I went to a 3-year energy medicine school here in the USA to learn about chakra balancing. And one of the things that I started a professional business back in 2006. And I've been doing this for a really long time. And I probably have about 13,000 healing sessions in my bag of healership. So one of the things that I love about reflexology, Dietrin, hello, how are you? Tell me where you're from, because I'm really curious to let me know where you're from, because I'm always amazed when I get someone from Italy, France, where else? I got someone from the West Indies last week. So I'm just amazed that people are coming to me from all over. Why do I do this? To share knowledge, Michigan, natural health, about adrenal balances. Well, one of the things that, let me tell you a little bit why I do this. My background is my son was really, really sick when he was a child. And the only option we had at the time was medication. And it probably took me 10 years to help him to feel better. And I took that knowledge thinking to myself, there must be other people out there who are looking for the same help. So one of the things I'm really passionate about is not let medication be your first choice. Learning what the energy imbalances are within you, and then help you to self-correct. So it took me 10 years to help my son to feel better. And so today he's a functioning human being. And for a long time, I did not know if we were going, it was a hit and miss, because so much of traditional medicine, there's holes in the knowledge. And I'm not poo-pooing traditional medicine at all, because it's one of those things we definitely need. Yes. But I also truly believe we have a lot of the answers within us. Hello, Sanders. So I'm just so happy that you're joining me. I'm really grateful. And tonight, one of the things that I would like to talk about is why reflexology. Let me give you a little bit of background about it. First of all, it's an ancient healing modality. It's been around for 5,000 years. The U.S. protocol to learn reflexology is a 55 steps, touching every single body system, from your circulation, your cardio, digestive, elimination, reproductive, your muscles, your cardio, everything gets touched. And someone who has gone to reflexology school is about a 300-hour program just for the foot alone. And what we need to learn, what I learned in that time period, in the year period, is foot anatomy. There's some body physiology, the practice session, clinical work, and I even had to write a thesis. And my thesis at the time was, can reflexology help to diminish or eliminate medication intake? And of the 10 people who came to me as part of my clinical work, I found that within 4 sessions, the pain cycle breaks. Why? Why does it break? Because as you're touching reflex points, there's in your hands, there's probably 15, I would say about together, 15,000 nerve endings. You've got another 15 at the feet. And then there's ear reflexology, there's even face reflexology. So all of these nerve endings is on the surface of your skin. As you press, messages is going up to the peripheral nerves, up to the spine, and then up to the brain. The brain starts to understand where the energy imbalances are, because right now your body has what I call a default mechanism. So it misbehaves because this is the only way it knows how to function. So the brain starts to send thousands of messages. Hello, Piper. Send thousands of messages from the brain to all your body parts. And all of a sudden, I call it the circuits are being reconnected. Literally, all the messages is going from nerve end to nerve end, like little wiring. And all of a sudden your body is like, oh my gosh, what happened to me? Why am I doing that? Because the body gets into really bad habits. So here is your chance, everybody. So I hope that gives you an idea what reflexology is in a nutshell. I could go on forever, but this is not the platform. Really feel free to ask me questions, because here's a chance you can ask me questions about reflexology, chakra balancing, energy imbalance. If you even have Reiki questions, I can answer those. I would say between the 13,000 sessions that I've given, I've accumulated a lot of knowledge. So as I mentioned before, please feel free to ask. All right, let me give you a couple of questions about, I'm going to answer 3 questions that someone has texted me earlier, emailed me earlier. They really want to know what is the neck and upper back reflex points. So if you start to feel like your neck is really tightening up. Hello, Queen Bee. Oh, I haven't seen you in ages, honey. Hi, honey. I want you, what you do is your reflex point for the neck is in the thumbs, at the base of the thumbs or the big toe, depending on what you want to work on. And what you want to do is you could do some thumb walk, or you could use some lotion and you could slide over the points. I prefer thumb walk. The reason why that is the case is I could feel pretty much exactly where the reflex point, where it's tight. And this is just from experience because I've done so many healing sessions. But what you could do to relax your neck, you could do the base of your thumbs or your big toes. You could slide over like this. You could also slide at the base of every single fingertip. How long to do this? I would say about, depending on how much time you have, you could do it for about 10, 15 seconds on each fingertips, and then you repeat. This is really key for those people who feel the neck is really tight. And that's just a reflex point. But what you should also do too is stretch your neck out. Really stretch your neck. So I have since most of us are at the computer, think about, we're hunched like this. And I'm hunched over somebody's feet. So my neck is, think about, you got a bowling ball on this tiny, what's called atlas. Your neck is holding up your head. So if you pivot that point, just think of how much weight is going in your head. Be sure you stretch your neck. Stretch your neck and really rotate it. And you could support it by doing this reflexology point. If you want to walk the reflex point, you take your fingers, see how forcefully that I'm pressing. In fact, my fingers turning white, and you're going to go across the base of every single neck, of every finger, I should say. And you're going to repeat. You do it on your thumbs also. And afterwards, go get some water and take some sips to just detoxify, because anything that you've loosened up got to find its way out of your body. Your back, the dorsal side of your hands. Not only is your back, your upper back, mid back, lower back, this is also your lymphatic. So if you have a cold that's coming on, you can work the lymph in between the webs of your fingers and your thumbs. So you could do it dry method. This is what I would do if I was working on myself. I take my knuckle and I'm going to work it in between every single web. You could do a circular, because this is, when you do it with the knuckle, you'll be surprised how much it really hurts. See, this is my mid back. This is where I am hunched all the time. So wherever there's a painful spot, stop and stay on there. And you're going to repeat in between every single web, including your thumbs. All right. These are just really quick tips. As I mentioned before, I learned a 55-step protocol. And it's really important when I'm doing a healing session, I do all 55 steps. Why? No one body system can work independently. I'm sorry, everything supports each other. So if something in the body is not working correctly, then there's a breakdown. So this DCRJB, hello and welcome. And so come back on the other hand, you're going to do the same thing. And if you decide not to do the dry method, see, I think it's better to do the dry method because you feel more. I always say, depending on which reflexology technique you use, some people do use lotion to do what I call sliding over the point. And that's fine. But see, what happens is you're touching everything and yet you're touching nothing at all. Do you get my drift, everybody? Let me know if this is something that is resonating. Can you give me a thumbs up or just let me know that this is resonating with you? And then if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in. All right. Let's see. Question, comments. Okay. All right. So feel free to ask me questions. So that's your back and your neck. Those are the two. But again, you know what? Whenever you have those issues, then it will have, a lot of times it's the shoulders, it's the upper back. So keep in motion, really keep in motion and keep moving and stretching. How often? I try to get up at least once an hour, sometimes more, or I go for walks. So this is really, really, really important. All right. So that's my thing. Okay. Somebody asked me about corns and callus on the feet. Usually corns and calluses is caused by friction of the shoes. It's rubbing the wrong way. So unfortunately with calluses, it just builds up. And the thing that bothers people when they have calluses is no matter what you do, it just keeps coming back. So people try to shave them off. I strongly suggest don't do that. If you can soften it and grind it down instead of slicing it off, because more times than not, the callus comes back even thicker. Corns usually like it's in between toes. It's like moisture that's trapped in between the toes. And unfortunately with corns, I'm going to say this, you got to gouge them out. So you got to go to a podiatrist unless you're a Boy Scout. I had once one client, he was so funny. He says, I'm going home, Helen. I'm going to remove those corns by myself. I go, really? I got this knife and then we can go in. I said, well, good luck to you. I don't want to witness anything like this. All right. So I hope that answers your questions about corns and calluses. Memory. Somebody asked me about this poor person. This is something that's new to me. She has leukemia in the stomach, and it is called hairy, like the cells look like hair. Leukemia in the stomach, because what happens when there's too much white blood cells are being produced. Well, let's face it, we all know what leukemia is. It's a form of cancer. So it's a cancer of the white blood cells. And she asked me, what can she do to support her stomach? Unfortunately, there's several things that got to be done, which I don't think I could do in the healing sessions right now. And the reason why is you've got to really work all the body systems, all 10 body systems to rid everything. You could address the stomach, which I could do right now. Stomach is very important because I asked her, does she eat a very acidy diet? Acidy, sugar, white flour, alcohol, too much meat. And so those are the things that could cause a really acidy diet, because it is believed cancer cannot live in an alkaline state. What's alkaline is a really more of a plant-based diet. So if you're addicted to like dairy products, which converts into sugar that feeds the yeast in your body, or what happens a lot of time, it develops an imbalance, and also your body is going nuts. All right. So working on the stomach reflex point. I think I showed this last week. Your stomach is right here. In fact, you could walk across. Of course, my pen is dried up because I forgot to put the cap back on, and I've forgotten about my pen. So you want to walk across this way. So I drew on both sides of the hand. Your stomach is closest to your first finger. So you're going to imagine the boxes look like this. I divide it in half so you can see where it is on your body. You see this, everybody? Para McGee, hello. Hi, thank you for joining me. I'm really in appreciation. So you really want to focus, walk in this area. Again, you could knuckle it across, but I prefer to walk across like this. And any place that feels tender, I really want you to stay there. And the reason why you want to stay there, that's your body is making a connection to your brain. The brain is starting to see where the imbalances are, and then it's going to come back to correct the energy that's in the stomach. So here on the left hand is your spleen. The spleen is a lymphatic node, and it also produces white blood cells, to tell you truthfully. And by walking here, because right now it's going nuts, there's just too much energy going through the spleen. By walking across all the way, can you see this, everybody? So you're going to walk across like this, and really forcefully, any place that feels tender, stay there for another minute, all right? And this is going to help to rebalance the energy in your digestive tract, your spleen, and your liver. And then right about underneath here in the corner, you got your adrenals. There's a lot of things going on in this moment. So anyways, those are the 3 questions that you have, that I received. And if there's something you would like to ask, this is a good time to ask me. And, before I forget, somebody asked me about, Crackly, what is the emotional and mental reason for each of these foot issues when you have corn or calluses? More times than not, it's a foot mechanical problem, is the way you walk, your gait. Most people do not walk properly. Yeah, well, when we're babies, you just walk, but no one ever tells you how to walk properly. And how do you walk properly? Your feet is a little bit like pigeon toe. I'm not really good at it because everyone seems to, I always get this wrong. They supinate and their feet are pointed out, or they're walking pigeon toe. And what happens is this throws not only your feet, your legs, and your hips out of alignment. So it's really important to come back. And when you walk, you should be like a little bit, I'm going to show you this way. So you're going to walk a little bit pigeon toe. This part of the foot's supposed to hit the ground first, and then all the rest of your toes, you curl in. I try walking like this. It is not easy. So what happens is I have bunion problems, and that's from the point of just walking improperly. So one of the things that I'm thinking of is taping up my foot to keep the metatarsal head here the metatarsal hip that's right here on your feet, taping it down. I haven't experimented with the tape as of yet, but that's something on my to-do list. All right. So that's it. And then emotional and mental reasons for each of these foot problems. Your feet are associated and connected to your first chakra. I'm going to take a sip. Your first chakra, which is right in the groin area, is about your home. This is about your everyday needs, your home, let's say partner, children, food on the table, shelter, your health, attracting money, joy. And if something is off balance, let's say for most of us now, our biggest fear is work because many of us are out of work. And I would not be surprised if there's a lot of people who is starting to have hip issues or leg issues because they're afraid of where the money is coming from. So one of the things that, how do you acknowledge this? As soon as I'm working with somebody and they tell me what is not working in their body, I know immediately, hi, Olga, how can I help myself with a hernia in it? Where is your hernia? Is it, you got to tell me where exactly it is, because if it's right underneath the rib cage, you're going to have to work on the spine. So you're going to have to tell me exactly where it is. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. So it's now a lot of people being affected by their feet and the hip area. Okay. Let's see. Miss Reynolds from Rochester, Michigan. She would like to know more about adrenal balancing. Your adrenals, it regulates the salt and the electrolytes in your body. And it also produces hormones to keep you from flipping out. If you're one of those people who is very, very nervous or is very stressed right now, like the most of the population is, so your adrenal reflex point, if you want to address it, is, let's say it's, I'm going to show you your stomach area. It is usually, it's right about here. And it lives right above the kidney. You have two adrenals, and you have to stimulate both of them. So it's right at the corner of the stomach, or I should say next to the stomach. And then once you get to the adrenal area, I want you to focus here. Most people, adrenal is very tender, especially if they've lived a very, very stressful life. All right. So this is how you address the adrenal. But you got to remember, this is only one gland. You might address one, but then something else that might be off also. All right. So anyways, hernia disc. So depending on where you have your hernia, is related to your spine. Your spine is on the outside of your thumbs, like this. And you walk up here until, nice and slow, you're going to use your thumb and you're going to dig tiny little steps. And wherever it's a little bit tender, that's where what's going on, because your spine is really quite important. It has 22 sets of nerve endings that attach to all of your major organs and glands. All right. So the more you repeat this, every single step that I taught you tonight, do it 3 to 4 times. If you have more time, do it more often than that. And after you're done, go get some water. So on my school site, the Healing Place Energy School, I have developed a 20-step protocol for relaxation. Relaxation is not only just to relax your body, but it's also going to relax your organs and glands. And it's really important, because if you're really in a very stressful state of mind, what happens a lot of time, your organs and glands are really chaotic too, because it really does not know what to do, especially if you live in a state of chaos. The more you could get the body to relax, the more it could come back to homeostasis. So when you do the reflexology, or let's say you do a traditional medical protocol, your body will respond quicker. Doesn't that make sense to everybody? Hey, people are not talking tonight. I would love for you to just let me know what goes on. And, I just love to hear from you if this is good. I'm hoping very much to do another reflexology, Ask a Reflexologist next Monday. I'm really blessed that my state is allowing me to open my office again. So there are people who are waiting for me at my office. These are the people that have been coming for their regular reflexology sessions now. Some of them have been with me between 5 to 10 years. Why? Because they see the value of the reflexology as part of their wellness plan. So very few people, I'm very happy to report, have been sick. And I would love for you to join me next week. And we can press to help acne. I have usually before I sign off, more times than not, acne comes from a really acidy diet. So think about what you eat. Miss Piper, are you into sugar? Are you into carbs, dairy perhaps, alcohol, meats? And usually there's an imbalance in the liver. So if you come back on your right hand, this is your liver reflex point. You could work this, but a lot of it will have to do with hormones. Okay. Hi, Demisi. It has a lot to do with your hormones, especially if you're young. You could. That's another whole series of hormonal balance. And by working the liver, it will help clear some of the acne or help you. But this is what I tell people about reflexology. It will help you in this moment. But if you go home and you do things that is not going to support your health, reflexology cannot help you. All you'll be doing is, okay, every time I help you, you improve. But once you go home and start your bad habits, then you're going to slide back. Doesn't that make sense to everybody? Mm-hmm. So anyways, I am going to sign off. I've had a really long day. I don't know if I told you this. I'm developing a 3-part course series on, it's called First Step of Your Spiritual Journey. There's the beginners, intermediate, and the advanced. For those people who have begun on their spiritual journey and you don't know what to do. So you hear the calling on the awakening and you don't know what to do with this information. So I teach a lot of the steps, what you do when the calling is calling you and it's time for you to pick up the phone to live your life purpose. And that's what I did 15 years ago. I answered the phone to God and I'm living my life purpose as of today. So I'm excited that I'm going to be launching that program probably next month. I think it's really kick butt and it will help everyone to awaken about their spiritual, really be on your first step of your spiritual journey. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am so appreciative. I look forward to talking to you again and be well and God bless. Bye-bye.